Here's your host for today's evening, for this episode of TommyKay Talks to, aka the Boomercast, talking to a real Ukrainian soldier. It is yours truly, David Gingerman. Oh, most professional. Oh my f***ing god. Okay, I fixed my camera. That's huge. Watch that, chat. Look at this professional streamer. Look at his beautiful face, man. Look at this beautiful man. Markish? You say Markish, or how do you say it?
Markic.
Markic, how you doing, man? Dude, this is weird. As a streamer, I often get a lot of messages. People text me all the time. I'm gonna f your mother, f you, TommyKay. But a while ago, there was a man texting me, and he was like, "What's up? I'm a Ukrainian soldier. How you doing? I like watching you." And like, what? This guy's trolling, right? And then for the last months, Markic has sent me a lot of texts. We have been texting a lot. He sent me videos, pictures, and that guy is the real deal. Markic, how about you introduce yourself to the people real quick, and who you are and what you do?
My name is Mark. I was a student, like four year of medical university, but the war started, so I came to the firstly in territorial defense force in 21st of February, and since then I'm serving as a combat medic. So I passed through few stages.
Yeah.
Like first combat medic in the middle of squad and a company.
Chat knows. I have no idea.
I don't remember.
That's not
like one medic per 30 men. Then
platoon? Sorry, they're saying platoon, whatever that.
Platoon, yeah, platoon. So combat medic of platoon. Then I was a senior combat medic, so of a company. And for now, as I switch to like transfer to 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, I'm combat medic in medical service.
Okay.
Of the 2nd Mechanized Battalion of 3rd Separate Assault Brigade.
So already this already starts to sound like that you were just a young guy last year that was just trying to study medicine, probably. Where did you study that? Kiev, I guess, or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And before I get too deep, I wanted to first ask, man, you're a born Ukrainian. I wanted to ask, where are you born? West, east, what city? How was your upbringing? How did you feel that entire tension between Ukraine, Russia, going pro-West, going pro-East? What was your life looking like up until the invasion started last year? I'm
pretty young, so I'm now like 22, but in this year I'll be 23. I was just a nerd, military nerd that gets in all of this stuff like history, military science. I wanted to learn like every equipment that are in service for now in different armies, like different species of different armies, and like that. In the politics, I got in 2014 when the revolution started of dignity, and like study internal politics. And then I was watching like Caspian Report or Kings and Generals and like that, like slowly get into geopolitics. Born in Kiev and raised in Kiev, grow up. So, just Kievian guy, that's all. I don't travel many in my country inside, like only went to Lviv in western Ukraine, and that's all. Even wasn't in a Kherson or Crimea like that. And attitudes about tensions between Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, as a young guy that was still young and only cared about like video games and your hobbies, how did you feel that stuff, or was it going by you because we're so young?
Like since 2014 I felt this stuff, so my country is important for me, and I started to think about my future. So I thought about profession I need to get. I thought about like in 2014 I was 14 years old, so in 2 years I would be taking part in elections. So I need to grow up as grow up my politic view, like internal, and yeah, I was very active at that time.
Okay, and yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk to someone like you, and because you want to obviously be sensitive and not ask like, did you see any cool stuff? And one question that I have in particular is, you know, for my generation, obviously not on your level, it was always 9/11. For my generation, was always, where were you when 9/11 happened? What happened on 9/11? And I think for you, young Ukrainians, it's, how did you, if you can remember, feel that 21st of February, that day? How did that feel to you? How was the general feeling in Kiev like? And what was that like? This message that there's someone coming for us here.
The feeling that war will start eventually was flown in the air. So like for that period of time when like mass media told everyone that Russia is getting up ready for the war, and someone don't believe in that, someone believed. Personally, I believed in this thingy, and no, because Russia got a lot of golden reserves, and this is the most like iconic thingy. So they are getting up ready for mass sanctions, like to live through the war on something. And I told my mom that I will go to the territorial defense forces, like to sign a contract. There was no talks about the war. No, so when will it start or like that. So I told the mom that I'll go to the territorial defense and sign this thingy, like my father did.
But when you signed that contract, you never thought that you never could imagine what could happen? Or did you feel like this might happen?
I thought that it might happen, because as I already told that there have a border tension between us, and so they are massing their forces, they are bringing their reserves. They had already made a significant golden reserves, and when the news about they bringing the blood packages for their like field hospitals to the border, it was like clear that war will start like for 90%. On the 24th of February, I wasn't asleep, so I talked to other guys in the Discord. So I just was chatting with them, and I heard the explosions, everything like that. I told mom that I'm going to the conscription office.
Was that, did you do that on yourself, or was there like a call, you now have to come to the office, or did you do it yourself?
No, there was no call, because they couldn't call everyone for this short period of time. So I just phoned my father, like, to communicate with him when he will be at the office, conscription office. So we did go there like 7 a.m. There was a big crowd of people, like military, non-military, like civilians, and everyone wanted to like sign up. When I walked in the street, like for 20 minutes, there was a chaos. So like explosions at the back, like in a far back. People are just packing things up. They're leaving. Someone leaving, someone going to the conscription office, and that someone like buying food, etc. So like in all of those films, when like world-end scenarios, so just chaos.
And you said your father was at the conscription office too? Did I get that? Understand
Yep.
that?
Yeah.
He
So
also
we go together.
Yeah, I remember it as someone that lives in the West and has it quite easier than you, right? I remember the day as there was in the West there was this big panic of, well, not this panic, this fear of, yo, they're taking down Ukraine in 3 days. In the beginning of this whole thing, did you guys, people like you that actually conscripted and were soldiers, did you guys feel like we're getting overrun here, or did you guys feel prepared? Did you feel like we're ready for this? We're not gonna get run over easily, or was it just very uncertain? What was the general feeling about that?
Every man is like have a personality, has his personal thoughts about one or another situation. So there was different opinions about overall situation. Someone like panicked, someone didn't knew how to like handle weapon, and but he handled himself well. But most of our guys just don't think about how the war is going, so we didn't know even where is the enemy specifically, like in a short period of time. Like in a long run, we see the news. So on a telephone, so we knew that enemy taken that city or village or moving in that direction. But the main things that illustrate us where the enemy is just firing, like mass firing, mass artillery, mass airstrikes, etc. And most of the guys just didn't think about, they don't have that fatality thoughts. We stood with our brothers, so like every man or every woman that came to the conscription office and went, took a weapon and went on the positions with a shovel, consider each other like brothers and sisters. So there was none of like civilian thingy, so I don't like him, or I don't think that he's good enough, or so. So everyone was helping each other. We consider that everyone can die in this situation, because the news was ringing like 3 days or so. Kiev will be fallen. So we didn't have much choice, because at the back, like in 15 or so kilometers, there were our families and brothers, sisters, like real mothers, children's.
Yeah. It was probably a very like, bonding experience that really bonded the people together in a very specific way.
Yeah.
But it must have also been a very scary experience for us, young people like you. Like suddenly these video games are becoming real.
Of course, it was scary for a certain period of time. Sorry, I lied. It is scary even now. Like in few situations, but I consider it's normal, because this is our work and our duty. So everything can happen, and it's normal.
And now a lot of time has passed and a lot has happened, and you guys are not looking on that bad anymore, right? And again, you don't have to ever, if anything is not, you don't answer that, then you don't have to answer. But I remember you started texting me in the beginning of the Kiev thingy, right? And in the West, we really felt like Kiev is gonna fall in 3 days. Can you walk us through the first weeks, months of your experience of a young guy that was just studying, caring about history and maybe HOI4, and suddenly you're in this war situation? If you can walk us through that in a way. Yeah.
In a theoretical thingy, so I knew enough to be an like officer duty, but I was a combat medic, so I was close enough for an officer, and he's civilian. He doesn't knew about the weapon systems or so. With my knowledge on the first day in the forest, I can differ type of weapon that is firing, where, when, and which weapon. So I can recognize vehicles, so our vehicle and enemy vehicle, like different models. Like the newest models is obviously like enemies. Fire rate of different MLRS systems, or like explosions of those MLRS bursts. I can say which one was firing.
But sorry, again, why did you know that stuff? Because you were just interested in your private life?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But at night you listen to
I
gun
was
sounds,
just a nerd. Sorry?
At night you listen to gun sounds, or where does that come from exactly, that you knew that stuff?
Different videos, like military games, like Arma Squad or other.
So games actually prepare you for war. There it is.
Only in theory. So you experience those situations, so you know when you should pick out or put your head down. Yeah, the basics are those games can provide those basics, but nothing more.
Yeah.
So as we know, everyone is personalities, and everyone can panic, can cause troubles, or even outperform himself in a certain situation. So you can't even say that at that period of time who is going to like be alive or have tragic deaths, or either like heroic deaths. So and you don't have second life. Yeah. So the games will not teach you about surviving. It will be your insights that will tell you what to do. So that is why like soldiers are constantly training, like never stopping training is the basic, because when you train yourself do something automatically in stress situation, when you have your voice inside and nothing more, that will help. So you'll know how to handle certain things that you trained.
And yeah, to go back to that first question of this walkthrough of the first weeks, what it felt like, what happened to you, where you were stationed, and what was your experience like in these first weeks and months of this invasion? You texted me you were in Kiev in the beginning. I remember you texted me something like, we're taking care here of the spies or some shit, or there's like, you gotta be careful.
No. For the first months I was like in the trenches. So in the first day we went to a place where we will need entrench on a trolley bus, without body armor, without much like shovels. So it was like 1 shovel per 10 men, and weapon and 4 magazines, 120 bullets, not much. And we start to dig in. It was very cold, and my dad froze his feet, so I need to bandage him regularly. And the guys had certain things like frost something or that, or catch a cold. But we had so much adrenaline inside our body, so we didn't felt it. So we slept like for 3 hours per day, if even slept, and it was normal. So we continue our work because of those that adrenaline. In my personal view, I was ready to go to war. If I'll see on observe a situation like practically, I have a medical knowledge, and there is not much medics on the front line. You can see, because they're rare. Combat medic doesn't need to know medicine well, like he doesn't need to study in the university, but he needs well training for do its job. We didn't have time to train other guys, so the medics were rare, and I know a lot of military theory at that time, and I thought it would help. The main things that inspire us to fight, it's our families. So it's the most important motivation that you can have, like to defend them, even if you can die. But so you fight for your relatives, yeah. And this moral boost that we had have a significant weight in like combat. Even if we don't know how to fight well, we fight till the end.
And I have to ask again, before all this happened, did you ever have, like in Germany, you have to go to the army for 9 months. Did you ever have this, like pre-training where you learn basics about the military?
We have contractors that stay in the army for a long time, and no, just sign a contract. And we had a conscripted man that service in the military, like I don't remember for sure, like a year or so. And after, if you study in university on a and have a military specialization, so you have civilian education, but if something happened, you are going to the military as an officer already, because you was on that courses, like theory courses.
Yeah.
After the education is ending, you need to go to the army to extra courses. Or in a different professions, it's different time, because like from 6 months till a year or so.
But did you ever have these courses, these preparations?
No.
So when you say
I didn't have...
in the beginning you were in a trench with your dad, that was the first time you really did this stuff, like officially?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. There was like no previous training when you were like 18 of like a short training or something. Okay, that's crazy. Okay.
My training was like when I got a gun, I came to my father and tell him, ask him to show how this weapon works specifically, and because I took it for the first time yeah, in video games, you know that this scene is going back and forward. The barrel is there, so you shoot there. You know how to use optics. No, but when you got this weapon in your hands, you didn't know shit about this weapon and how it works. And so yeah, my dad showed me, and I started to like taking care about weapon, because if you don't take care about your weapon, it won't work well, it won't function well. So it's like a car, or not like a computer, because it can be dirty or so and still working, but the car needs constant.
You're taken care of, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in these first weeks, you're just a young guy with no training, and you're in a trench in Kiev, just digging and just waiting, or how can one imagine that?
Yeah, we dug the trenches and were taking part in a fight for Pusha Voditsa area, northwest part of Kiev. We had a time of fighting, and but in most of time you dig, not shoot.
From what the message I saw from you, I always imagined you that you're already a medic and you're not in a gunfight, but in the first week you have already been in a real fight there as a young guy with no training.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Like lots of men and women that came the first day, they had such experience. So for now it's normal, because for us this is that meant like total war. When you have gunfire and explosions under your head, you always like taking care about your country. But when I now come in Kiev, the guys just nah, that's normal. We act like nothing happened or so. The restaurants, cafeterias, etc. It's working. Bars is working. So here is for now like civilian life, but with certain restrictions. You can't go on the street from midnight till 5 a.m.
Okay, so the first weeks are passing, and I hope I remember this well, and suddenly it happens that all across the world the news are happening that Ukraine ain't going down in just 3 days, and they're actually handling the first initial invasion very well, and are even pushing back. When did you start feeling this, hey, we're not getting overrun here, we're holding, this seems to be working? What did it feel like? How did the news come to you? In a situation like this, how do you even get the news? Probably the phone. And how did that feel? This initial phase of, we're pushing back here, they ain't taking our home so easily.
For the first 10 days, we didn't think about like we handling or not. We took part in like our combat, so we didn't think much. But one week and a half, we starting like to look at our phones to see to read the news, see those funky videos about destroying Russian armor and columns. So we thought that everything will go well. It's better than we thought for the first day.
Yeah.
And as a soldier, you can't have plans in your even nearest future, especially in a wartime, because if you have a command, you need to do it, and the things and commands are and situations are always changing. So we ready ourselves to live a life for a day. For you plan your things for a day, maybe for tomorrow, but the plans that you planned on a tomorrow, like in 80%, in 80% will not happen. So live every day like the last.
I think a lot of privileged people here in the chat, including me, can learn a lot from that. When that's what I always thought is so crazy about this Ukraine war, is this how we in here, like in Germany, in the West, we have these easy, compared to yours, right, chill lives when you're a young guy, has to go through this stuff, and I think also we often forget how good we have it here, and it's stories like this really help to put it in relation. And this entire time you guys had internet on your phones? There wasn't like the Russians have like no interception technology or something? You had internet the whole time, right?
Probably they had an interception, but when the front line is always moving, your supply chains are getting constantly shelled or raided, and the amount of people with the phones on the front line, I think they couldn't even organize their decryption or cyber reconnaissance for the level that they had trained. Because this is the mass war, and there is mass using of like phones, like digital devices.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get these informations through your phone. That there must have been good moral boost when you saw all this armor taking out the Ukrainian truck drivers driving the tanks away. That must have been very, very helpful. And it now started that you feel Ukraine ain't gonna go down. We're holding here. How did that come to you, and how did it feel when you guys realized the initial hold is happening here? Especially like
for now.
Sorry.
For now, it's like a war. Like for me, it looks like a war of attrition, because front lines were stabilized in 8 months of the war, and like you see in a Donetsk region, when we had fortified our positions, it doesn't go much, because when the position is fortified well and military knows all the terrain things that they can use, frontline will be stable in a like very high rate, if even enemy just mass attack you, like you could see in a Bakhmut area. For now, yeah, it will be. I think it will be the long war. We don't have like mass production of artillery shells or heavy equipment or vehicles or so. So we fight what we got in a stockpile. There is no mass production, only drone productions, because that is cheap. But even not on a level like Russian take it. So Russians now produce more drones than we. So they had been taught about this war, that drone, this is the future.
But how did it happen that you went from Kiev to the stabilized front line? What was the steps between that you are gone from Kiev, going into the front line as a combat medic?
First month and a half, when Russian ground forces were in Kiev region, I was in Kiev region. When they stood back to the Belarus border, I got not dismissed, but dismissed from my position, because I have very hard time with civilian medic that was ahead of medical detachment of battalion. I have like very bad relations with her, because she doesn't know much about the war and order like silly things that I'll never do. as I learn in the next months of real war, I was right at that point. So I was dismissed from my position and was put in reserve, in a perspective that soon I will be off the army. But
how did you feel about that? When this prospect hit you that you could be out, how did you feel about that?
I wasn't very happy about that, because I thought that my duty is not finished. At that time, we had lots of officers on sergeant positions. So in army, you can't be an officer on a position of a sergeant, like a commander or a squad commander. You must be at least a head for a certain man, not 10.
Yeah.
And they got in reserve too. And then I talked to my good known officers there. We went for another brigade. So for the first month, there was only one territorial defense brigade. It's 112, and it was overfilled like in 2 times. So after enemies stood off the Kiev, our command decided to make another Kievan brigade 241, and we moved there. We moved there for a brigade company, not battalion company. So brigade specialized company, like supply detachment, supply company, medical company, like like in HOI4. And we were anti-saboteur company. So we consist 2 platoons of stormtroopers and 1 recon platoon, like military police. So we needed to filtrate certain areas in the Kiev where enemy were, and if it possible, search and destroy enemy strongholds. I mean, of partisan war or no. If it could be. I was there for pretty long time, so there was not much combat experience. I was taken by medical detachment of the brigade on a evacuation as brigade evac, but my company wasn't in a active fighting front. The one time we did our job well when we recognized that one enemy squad that had top gear, if you can call it, everyone had night vision, special operation forces. So they was correcting their drones by the infrared gadgets. So they was marking the trace for drone to fly on it, to take geo data, and then by that trace the ballistic missiles will be going. They were helping to correct and trace those missiles that was at that time firing at our energy facilities. We recognize that we won't storm there, because they had better gear. They had, we don't know for certain how many of them. We only trace their for their secret hideout. So we call our command, that call special operation forces, and we help our special operation forces to storm their hideout when they were there. like we were just block any way out of that. So our Special Operation Forces group took their alive. They even couldn't get dressed.
They were in a random
by the time
hideout in
being.
Kiev. These Russian special forces. They were just
like in a village.
Ah, okay.
It was villages.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we moved as a company to serve with the. So we were attached as a company to 3rd Separate Assault Brigade. 2 months fight in a Donetsk region, and then after those 2 months, I just transferred to 3rd Separate Assault Brigade and serve there for now. Like it is a very, very good military structure.
And
so everyone.
And they're stationed, I think you told, south of Bakhmut or something, or?
We stationed as in a west from Bakhmut area, like west and south, like around Kramatorsk city. Our front line measured from Klishivka till Andreevka. So this was our front line when we took part in assaults and such.
And just for me to understand, an assault brigade like the one you're part of, how many people are in a thing like that? Because I have no understanding of what that means. Sounds like
I don't want to lie to you. I can't say about that, but in the near future, I think we'll have more men, like 30% or so in the brigade.
Wow.
So it is like getting bigger.
Okay. Okay, that's kind of your.
So
oh, yeah.
So we have like 4 battalions: 2 assault battalion, 2 mechanized battalion, and different detachments like medical, tank company, etc., etc., etc.
So this might sound a bit more, but in HOI4 terms, you guys are like a division with a lot of support companies in a way. Okay, okay.
But 1 division.
Yeah, 1 division. Okay, and that was pretty much your way so far up until now. You're on vacation in Kiev. During this entire time, has your family stayed in Kiev?
Yep.
Wow. And
they won't move from Kiev because they know that they are waiting for me.
Okay.
And the safest place for them is where I am. So they wasn't moving on a vest to like hide out for a time. We have a cottage house near the Kiev, like 20 kilometers or so to the southwest. So at the first 2 months they were there.
Again, you never have to answer these things. When, as a Ukrainian, you hear obviously stories of young men and families leaving Ukraine, leaving to the West, EU countries to get out of this. As someone like you, as a soldier, can you understand them, or is there a little bit of resentment in the Ukrainian army that you feel like you guys should have stayed? Or how do you feel about? It's probably understandable, I would think, right? It's probably just understandable.
Yeah, as a man, I can understand what they are doing because this is their personal security. This is their personal like opportunity to change a war country to a peaceful country with like in most of that good economies, but with a certain disadvantages in like cost of living, because Ukraine is pretty cheap even now for living like a civilian. I think that in this war, every Ukrainian and every man in the world with their decisions or enacting, they made this happen. Like it not measure in months or weeks or days. It measure in the whole life of a person. We as Ukrainians are, it's my personal view, we as Ukrainians are in charge of our decisions and misacting. If the person think that he can leave the country and everything will be fine, it's not. The country is struggling. It needs, like, every man, every working hour, it needs their present.
Yeah.
It needs their help. So as a soldier, I'm not in a worst military structure. Like, I'm in the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, and the things we have, this is one of the best that we can have in this in our armed forces. Like the best infrastructure, not the best vehicles, but the best men. Men are doing great things, not equipment. The most of our armed forces have their shortages, have their struggles, like weak spots in supply chains, and our economy as a country economy is struggling like a lot. And when all the men that live in this country just do it, no, they leave this country, the situation gets worse, not better. Even those men that doesn't see the war as the war, so they just live their life and don't give even the fuck about the situation, and go have a parties all the time, listen to Russian music or so. They don't get into politics. They just don't give a fuck. They are living. Even that man is doing his job. How awful it wouldn't sound.
Yeah.
So he pay taxes. He buy food. So he buy like alcohol maybe, and everything that is made the economy of our country. So it is still better than just leave the country.
Yeah, and you said something beautiful.
Even
you said something beautiful that reminds me of my home Germany, that you said that even if a guy doesn't give a fuck and goes, it doesn't make the problem go away, it even gets worse. And where I live in Germany, even in my own family, there has always been these voices. Now I want to talk about the relations of EU and Ukraine and helping and stuff. And in a sec, how you feel about that, that you have these people in Germany that go on the street and they're like, we should stop sending weapons to Ukraine because you want peace. Where I always would think, just like you just said, that's not going to fix anything. That's not going to help a problem, right? That's just going to make things worse. A huge question, obviously, a lot of people are interested in, as we're most of here in chat and listening are Westerners, is how does a Ukrainian soldier like you, or how did you Ukrainians feel, or I can't find the word right now, about the Western help? Is it seen in the field? Is it seen in the army? Could it be more? Could it be less? Could it be less? It's probably not. But what is your general feeling of this Western help to Ukraine? Do you see it in everyday life on the front line? Is it something that is helping? Is the notion, what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I see equipment, NATO equipment that we have on the front line. You can see even on the videos like Bradleys, challengers, small arms firing, artillery. Our artillery is like the biggest thing that like the biggest percentage of artillery is now the vast artillery, APCs, like M113s. This is very good vehicles, but in the military to do its thing, you need lots more if you need if you want to win, if you want to push the enemy back, you need those in big masses. Ukraine always struggled about its air force because we don't have much, and that not much is just 30 or 40 years old. So systems wasn't changing, updating. So it is like old Soviet era equipment, and I can say that in the way of tanks, APC, Soviet, it very struggle about its maintenance. Always breaking, always something wrong. Vehicle on the front line is constantly got broken like very easily. So the lot of cars that we have, even civilian cars, to do our job, to make your way to the position. They're just lots of like donated cars for Ukraine, but it just got broke. The support is here, the best support with us, but it's very long time to make a decision to give us any weapon system like best have. Best. And I always say about in a wartime, you don't measure time in its normal measuring. You measure it in civilian people and military lives. All these men that stood up for their country by themselves, not conscripted or so, those are the golden reserve, the golden people of our country, because those men can put their life on a weight just to make other people be happy and to make its country get better. They give a fuck about their country and how it will be handling. And we are getting back to the point when the time is the life. If certain decision, only decision, making its way for 6 months, it measures in 1,000 of lives of those golden men. You can just imagine that your like best friend got died. How can you feel about that in that point? If it can be or this feeling can be translated to the civilian measures. And this one death is just half of 1% of those feelings that everyone in the army is experiencing, because casualty rating is very high when you make an assault, and it's normal. And those friends won't came back from that. Yeah, I think that Western support is crucial, but it's very costly.
That it's so slow and not enough is costly. Yeah, and that was one of the biggest thing I was looking forward to when talking to you, because I have the experience of living in Germany, right, and how people talk here and stuff, and so many people acting like, right, stop sending guns. You hear it in the USA, you hear it all about the West. Why are we sending guns? We need peace. And it's, I think, in my opinion, so important to hear someone like you that finally puts on his smoke, finally, after 1 hour. To hear from a real person, not just some Twitter warrior, what this support really means in the end, yeah. And maybe now, chat, you know why I'm so much for sending them stuff. Yeah, man, I mean, this is fucking deep shit. Dude, I didn't even know what to say, man. If the war would never have started, you'd still be in med school right now? You'd finish a degree, you'd become a doctor, or?
Yeah, probably. I wanted to be a traumatologist.
Ah, what is that again? I don't know what that is.
It's when a person have a trauma.
Ah, yeah.
You go to a traumatologist to. I don't know how to say it in English. Sorry.
It's cool. Oh, so don't worry. And I mean, you said a soldier never thinks far into the future and stuff like that. But if this war will one day come to a conclusion, this is something I want to talk about. And once again, you don't have to talk about this, right? I always say a weird thing, which sounds weird at the beginning, but I think it makes sense. My dad is a really heavy alcoholic, and I think in a weird way of chain reaction, it's Hitler's fault. Now, what does that mean? Because of Hitler, we had World War II, and my great-grandparents, all the men died, and the women got very depressed. They stopped drinking alcohol, etc. They started hitting their children, which was the reason that my dad's parents were very, very bad parents. Alcoholism, hitting him a lot, blah, blah, blah. The so-called generational trauma, right? And then my dad never really had a chance and became like that. I don't know what the question is going to be here, but one thing I often think about when I think about Ukraine and this war, man, that really was very unnecessary from Russia, is that whoever wins, whatever happens, that there will be this generational trauma in the entire region for decades to come. And I don't want to ask, like, do you think you'll have that? Because that's insensitive. I want to ask more, do you feel it's going to be a big thing? And do you feel there is, or is going to be enough help for that? Or enough institutions or maybe programs that will help with this once this shit is over one day?
Yeah, I thought about that, and yeah, it will be like lots of problems, lots of dealing with these problems. The programs in our country, I think it's 400% will be, because we have those people that don't give a fuck about our country, but we have like lots more people that donate to the army, volunteer, making volunteer work. And those people are very politically active and socially active. I think the help will be provided to hurt people, like mentally, economically, or so. It will be, I think. But I even had a thought that when the war will end, our civilians and our nation will be hurt till that point that if you watch a film and you hear in a film the siren ringing, like we have sirens, it will be like causing panic more or less in most of viewers. I think even those things needs to be handled after war, or even as the sirens of our specialized vehicles, like specialized service, like police, medics, firefighters. So I think even in that case will be changing. It's just my personal thought about that situation and how it can be handled.
And that's why I think it's so beautiful to talk to you, that because one thing I feel in my everyday life here in Eastern Germany is that so many people, especially as the war gets longer, become unemotional and desensitized. If you're a regular day German, your life doesn't change, right? You hear in the news, there's a Ukraine war, okay, what the hell? And you slowly get unemotional, and you see how people... And that's something I always want to raise awareness for, especially with you, chat. People that often just meme around, and you know, this is kind of adult stuff, that there's real people involved, and there's real people, and even if they survive the war, there's so much damage being done. We see that all across the world, right? Look at Vietnam vets in the US, or German vets in Germany. There's so much that has to do with this war that many people don't even see anymore, in the West at least. And I think it's very important to always raise the awareness for that this ain't no joke. This is pretty serious stuff.
We always joke in our like close military circles about we taking part in this war only because of money. We are just mercenaries. We came here for money and the medals or so. And
you're paid by the CIA, I heard. Huh?
Yeah.
Your name is John, right? Yeah, that's something that is so scary to me, and I often feel like I want to do something against that. Well, I mean, we don't even have to talk about why the war's happening, etc., but that there's human lives that are going through fucking fucked up shit, and so many in the West, right? When they call for stop the weapons and stuff like that, they forget that stuff. That's something I really felt when I was younger. I remember this when 9/11 happened. When I talk about it again, the world was shocked into oblivion. There was no school. People were crying on the streets here in Germany. Even it was a massive event, right? And now we reach this world in 2022 where Ukraine gets invaded, and like in the German streets, they're all like, oh, it's not that bad, don't worry. And you see how people become more and more unemotionalized because of the internet, social media, all that shit, you know. And that is a scary thing, I feel like. And yeah, I remember I had this talk with my girlfriend's mom, a great woman, who was like, why are we sending stuff to Ukraine? I don't like that. And I was like, listen to me, what are we talking about here, right? These people go for something really, really real. We have that stuff. What the fuck does it hurt us, right? And yeah, I just want to make this point of how many people, and I'm talking to you a bit, chat here, are forgetting how goddamn serious this stuff is. But sometimes also, you see in the West a lot how the Ukraine war is getting a bit on a meme level. You see it on social media how, oh, they took another tank, look at that. And you see all these videos, right, nowadays. It's also a social media war nowadays, right? And you see how maybe some people try to cope with the horror of war by pulling it on a meme level or on a non-serious level to make it feel more understandable to them. Yeah, does that make any sense when I'm babbling here? Fuck, this is heavy, man. This is like harder than HOI4 treatments, that's for sure. If you want, we can just go for some questions from Twitter. The number one question people want asked on Twitter is, do you see or feel in the Ukrainian army the support of foreign volunteers, like foreign battalions, foreign mercenaries? Can they be felt?
I was like a senior of evac brigade of US volunteer medics for 1 month in 3rd Separatist Cell Brigade, and those guys just doing magic. They're one of the best medics I've seen on the front line. So well organized, they know their job. They can maybe overfill like a wounded man with painkillers. For one thing, it's good because it can be very flexible in different situations. But in that conditions we had, we doesn't even need so much painkillers that they provided to wounded soldier. That's like the smallest and the one like misunderstanding with me with them, but in overall they're just one of the best. And those guys that are making assault teams from foreign volunteers. We are very, very grateful to them because they came to help our country, not with words, not with money, but with their bodies and souls.
Yeah, I always felt about them like they don't talk shit on Twitter, they actually do something about it. Yeah. Two more questions. They got a lot of likes, so people care about this. Number one, what is the food like on the front line? I remember when I was in the army, the food was fucking cancer. It was the worst thing ever. It was bad.
We have support of like civilians. We can even go to like grocery shops or like fast food, even within frontline cities. If you have time and you don't have duties, yeah, you can go there and eat. And army is providing not very like good food. Like the meat is frozen. And it can be filled with like water inside to make the weight of it corruption. But overall, you can make from this meat very good food. And our guys have a very good cooking. They cook very well. So with the food is everything fine.
That's positive. And that brings us a bit brought up question. Something I'm really interested in. What something that's unimaginable. What the hell does everyday life look like on a front line? When you look at movies like Jawhead, it's a lot about waiting, a lot of waiting. Yeah. What does everyday life look like on a front line?
So, three things that I can. 4 things that I can say about living on the front line. The first thing is like trench warfare. Trench warfare is like in 3rd Separate Assault Brigade. We rotate our guys that on a trench every 3 days. So the guys take pack their backpacks, take their body armor and weapon, and went to a trench for 3 days. After that, when they got changed, they go 3 days on resting. So the first day of that is just total rest. You can wash yourself, you can get ready your weapon, clean it up, because there is the mass dust, clay on a weapon. So for a proper work, you need to clean it. Then the next day is training day. So you train yourself physically or train your firing quality or something. Or tactical coordination in a squad or so, or other trainings like theory. You learn theory and you learn other weapons and vehicles. And then the third day is preparing day for your next trench like duties, and it cycles. So in the trenches, it's very long time of waiting. Most of the time is digging, observing, and trying not getting shot by enemy artillery or drones. So it's the first. The second is my work. So it's semi backline activities like evacuation or supplying our troops. So you have a schedule when your like shift is going. We had a shift, 12 hours of shift in evacuation, and then 24 hours of resting. 12, 24, 12, 20, 24. And yeah, so that's our time. So by the 24 hours we can sleep, we can eat, do our things or so, and have a 12-hour shift where we are just waiting. And we, if we had a call, we going on a call and evacuating man. The third is like headquarters are different a bit. Yeah, there is a shift, but when the assault is coming, you can stay overtime. That's for every type of these points. So if the assault is coming, you can stay over time, even over day on your shift. The headquarters is like we have a shift, but it's more like mind games. So you need to communicate with guys, you need to make a plan, you need to manage your equipment, men and weapons or so, and that's all. And the fourth is assault. So assault, it depends how it's going. If the assault is successful, the guys, our assault battalions preparing for assault, then one day preparing for an assault. The second day is assault time, when they're storming enemy trenches, positions, etc. And till the next day, they're holding their positions, and then they are changed by our guys that are staying in the trenches. In 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, we have the practice when the guys are asked if they're ready to go on an assault. If they're not, they are not going. So after these men are signed to the assault, all the signed people making in one group that will be operating on an assault. If the man is not enough, it will be decided by officer, like low ranked officer, like platoon officer or company or so. But we didn't have the situation. Yeah, lots of adrenaline, lots of emotions after the assault. Casualties are too injured, KIA or so. Yeah.
And it sounds like these assault brigades are the guys that see the really, they're going through like the really bad stuff, and it's your job to evacuate them, and you see these guys after assaults, right? You see what happened, what they've been through, etc. Yeah. Yeah. Jesus. Jeez, I don't know. I always have an open mouth, but with that stuff, man, it's just crazy. I remember, just to switch to, I remember when I was a kid, I was so into war, man. I was buying toy guns, and I would always run for the forest with my friends and shooting stuff. And my grandpa and great grandpa, they were always like, because they knew this shit ain't no fucking game, right? And
I had that childhood too, and my mom always asked me, why are you studying it? Why are you playing those games? It's bad. You need to make peace, love, not the war. It's those games are making you aggressive or so. Yeah, and they believe in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and now since I have a kid, I understand how moms and dads think, how their children is the most precious thing to them, and to think that they are going through war is just unimaginable. And the main thing I have in my brain the whole time is how more people in the West need to wake the fuck up to shit like this, and how important, how serious this stuff is. That's what I think about it a lot.
as the people in our country. We still have those people that can't. I can't say they can't imagine those things because they felt it. They just forgot these things and don't pay attention or don't taking care about that. So, when I say every man in the world, by his decision or enacting, he in one way or another taking responsibility for the whole situation. Correcting myself, he taking part of those taking part in a responsibility. If Ukraine had no war and there will be a war in the Middle East or the war in African country, it can be caused by food, it can be caused by our certain economic policies to its enemy or ally or so. And it somehow will change the war's going, or somehow influence the war itself. And remembering about, it's funny to say in my situation, but I'm remembering what will be with soldiers for now. Don't give a fuck about ecology. They want to win a war. Every of those actions we make, it worsens the situation overall.
Yeah, I don't have much left, man. This shit is heavy. But also, in a way, also, I don't want to always have such a negative note on a talk like this. Like, oh, this is so sad, this is so... Because that's also not going to help a lot, you know? That's just going to make you depressed. One more question that's a little bit unsensitive, maybe, I don't know. Is that... in the West, in the safe West, we have and had this thing called doom scrolling. You would watch frontline videos, etc. People were really into this stuff, and it wasn't healthy for the head. And one thing, and I do that still. And as I'm trying to pay a lot of attention to the Ukraine war, something that I'm getting from the media that's presented to me is that this overall notion of the enemy, the Russians, as I see it, often being very conscripts, undertrained, former criminals that have been drafted, unprofessional, unequipped well. And one question I want to ask you is, I mean, sure, they had stuff like Wagner and Bakhmut that is equipped. Is this fake news I'm seeing there, or is it really like that the enemy is not that scary bear we were all afraid of for all these decades, but it's actually, like you see in these videos, it's often just very sad people that are forced into a war by a dictatorship. How do you observe that?
I observe it as an enemy. In my personal view, if I would be a civilian man, like I can see videos now, like how Azerbaijan military can behead like civilian or enemy military. As a civilian, I would be against that. But as I feel it, that this is my enemy, I can't even attitude him like or greet him with humanistic.
You can't humanize him.
Yeah. So this is the enemy. You need to kill him or make him surrender. Nothing more or less. If you will be hesitate, you will be shot. You will be killed. So it's you or he. There is very simple question. Those men that are making like good Russians, that telling everyone we against war, we need to peace talks. We don't need peace talks until every centimeter, every millimeter of every inch of our country is occupied by them. including Crimea, because it's world recognized Ukrainian territory. If you have people living there, like in Azerbaijan, for now, Nagorno-Karabakh is the place where ethnic Armenian civilians living for decades, but it's internationally recognized territory of Azerbaijan. Armenia would won't do anything to evacuate those men for in Azerbaijan country and meet them as a refugee and peaceful talk with Azerbaijan so that Azerbaijan could retake this territory because the people who live there, even if they're another nationality, they can't decide what to do with certain territory when it's internationally recognized that's territory of another country. So it makes big troubles for this region. So do Crimea, especially when it was took by a Russian Federation, and those referendums that they made, it can be it can't be real in internal politics things.
I feel like even the dumbest motherfuckers know that shit.
Yeah, firstly, if you have a position that opposite your government, you need to firstly, peacefully or by vote, address this government, those problems, fight till peaceful fight till your like problem or anything won't change. And if the government is like suppress you or somehow hurt you as a civilian, you'll need to fight back.
Yeah.
If the government hurt you, but firstly, it needs to be
done
the talks need to be done, not the Russia and the Crimea they did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, to come back to that beginning question, I guess in the real world you don't give a fuck if your enemy is well equipped or whatever his motivations are, because he's just the enemy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would like to end this on a good note and something positive. And another big question we had on Twitter, and I obviously care about it too, is that I wonder if you can even answer that, is what kind of dream do you have for your own future and for the country of Ukraine? What do you even allow yourself to dream stuff like that?
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
I want to just lay in my bed and jerking off. And that's all.
That's a cause we're fighting for. I don't know what to say anymore. And I just want you to know, even though this is just, I don't know how much this is worth. If this shit is ever over, man, you know that you have to come to Germany, and we'll take good care of you, man. We're gonna take care of you here. You're the only viewer I will ever invite to me. Sorry, yeah, you wanted to say something.
I also, as I said a long time ago, I wanted to make you post package. For now, I'm just can't say if the certain things I can send to you that I wanted to.
Are you sending me grenades, man?
Not. It was like already blown up part of the rocket.
Jesus.
That
I think that's against some German Bannerlord, man.
RPG, yeah. And as I saw,
I'm going to be watch this.
Yeah, but those specific rocket was trying to hit me when I was evacuating
Jeez,
the guy
bro.
on a like four-wheeled like motorcycle quadro
Quad bike, yeah.
uh,
What the fuck are you
quad
talking about?
bike. Yeah, yeah. So when the guys, our guys had a concussion, like very bad concussion, we need to like quickly go on the front line to take them. So we do it on a quad bike, like going on a position, take them at the back. We pack him. So we are attaching him to us, and then quickly going back on a stabilization point. And one of those evacuation, in one of those evacuation, I was just. Can you imagine the road on a village, no asphalt, just dirt road, 400 meters long, and you can place 4 quad bikes on that road.
Yeah.
But you have 2 fields, like on the right and on the left of the road, that are mined as fuck, anti-tank mines, and those 400 meters you need to go like straight. So I always go on that road, went on that road like 80 or so kilometers and zigzagging. And
Dude,
one of that moment, RPG was fired at me. I don't know even if it was RPG or SPG, but rocket hit and missed. Yeah, and then when we had a time, it was 4 days after evacuation, with the night vision goggles that guys on the front line gave me, I could take those rockets with me.
Okay, so there was a guy who tried to RPG you, but you Call of Duty dodged it, and now you want to send a balding ginger boomer streamer from Germany that rocket. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
Life's good. Life's good. I don't think you're allowed to send me that, but a cool deal between you and me will be that one day when the shit is over, we're gonna fucking meet up, and you can give me the rocket IRL, man. That will be. We should do that. But now you're on vacation. You can just. Yeah, you have a girlfriend. You said.
Yep.
Oh man. So...
I'll now go to her and.
Oh, you should go. Yeah.
Yeah.
No joking off tonight. Yeah, I mean, it brings me back to that point, yeah, that family is in the end the greatest motivator, the greatest drive, and so important, man. I want to thank you for doing this, man. This is amazing, and especially in my life, you hear so many people blah, blah, blah all day. Twitter, chat, I'm one of them too, YouTube, everybody blah, blah, blah. But you actually got it has actually something real to say, and I think that needs to be seen a bit more often, man. And I want to thank you for doing this. Unfortunately, you sent me a donation link that doesn't work. It's only for Ukrainian money. They said in chat you cannot.
I see.
But what we're gonna do is in the next streams and on the YouTube video, this is gonna be. We're gonna put a link down below with anything you choose where people can donate money to. So at least we do a little bit of something.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get that 100%. Okie dokie. Well, I should really go to your girlfriend now and enjoy life, man.
Thanks.
Enjoy happiness, man. Thank you so much for doing this, man. And we stay in touch. And the last words are yours, man. The last words are yours, brother, man.
So I want to thank you and all the guys in chat just for your attitude to this thing. If you like had something to hear or something to know new, thanks for all of your support.
Yeah, I mean, you should thank nobody, man. Thank you so much, man. And I talk to you in our epic chat full of weird videos. We're not gonna show anyone. And thank you so much for doing this. Have a great night, man. Nothing but respect and love, brother. We're gonna meet up.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Bye.
That was fucking deep shit. God fucking damn it, man. Jesus Christ. Play some FIFA, guys? I'm gonna tell you, chat, something. You're gonna understand one day. When I was young, stuff like this didn't faze me. When you're like 18 and you play Call of Duty and I was really into war stuff. You know, I was in a software club and stuff. And you will never understand the old people that are like saying, oh, why are you into war stuff? Don't do that, it's not good. And you're a kid, you're like, what the fuck? I love war stuff. And as you get older, I'm 32 now, you will all feel that, man. You understand it more. You understand the shit much more, how heavy it is. When you're like 12, 18, 23, it doesn't hit you that much. At least that's what happened to me. I have a kid now, Ed, and if I had to imagine that my son is on a fucking front line, man, that is the most horrifying thing ever. And it's the saddest thing the human race could ever experience, that people have to go through this shit because of a bunch of dumb motherfuckers, man. On all sides, on all sides. Yeah, I'm not saying the West is perfect. We all know that. Yeah, man, tomorrow I should have a link from him. We could donate to, I will donate, and we're gonna put it on the YouTube video. And we're gonna send some love, man. The funny thing is, tomorrow I'm playing a HOI4 mod where we are gonna play Ukraine. Yeah, it's weird. I just want to be honest that I feel like if I would have talked, if I would have looked at content like this that we just had here with Markic, listening to him, if I would have listened to that as an 18-year-old, that wouldn't have hit me that much, right? Because I'm still a young dumb kid like Risha, a young dumb kid that doesn't understand real life, man. But as you get older, this shit hits you much more, man.